As somebody who doesn't like Trump myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump, right? I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
He's the best president of my lifetime, and he revealed the corruption in this country like nobody else.
Oh shit, the results are in. He won, and he won by a sizable margin. Oh my God. JD Vance. When did we get the results? Oh shit, we literally just got the results. Oh my God. JD Vance won the Republican primary in Ohio. Oh my God, he's one step closer to actually being a senator. Oh my God, man. I can't believe it. Dude, the story of JD Vance up to this point is so wild. And he won by a margin, dude. It looks like he almost won by like it looks like 8 points. Oh yeah, I said JD Mandel at one point, Trump during the speech. Does anybody have the clip? Now remember, Trump is endorsing JD Vance, right? And it is important when you get an endorsement from like a president that they say your name so you can put it in the ad, so you can drill your name into people's heads, right? Like that's like a big part of like the endorsement. It's like you want to like the whole point of like campaigns is to get people to fill in the thing next to your name. And so your name is pretty important when it comes to getting people to like vote for you, right? And so let's look at the JD Mandel clip because that stuff is hilarious. And now remember, Mandel is the name of one of his opponents, Josh Mandel. So I want to I want to look at this quick. JD Mandel, here it is.
How long and how tough is the test? They say, well, the first questions are easy, but when you get to the middle of the test, they're very hard.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking wild. Dude, I can't believe, why does he keep bringing this up? So again, Trump tried to prove that he wasn't like an incompetent idiot because everybody thinks he's an incompetent idiot and he might literally be unfit for office due to his brain not working, right? And that was like what people were speculating on. And he was like, oh, I took a really based cognitive test that shows that I'm actually really, really smart. I'm above average IQ. Very, very smart. And then people looked at the question, and he was like, these are like tough questions. They really, really railed me there. I wasn't doing it. You look at the questions, and it's like, does anybody have a copy of the Trump? I'm sorry, I'm getting off a tangent here. Trump IQ test. Here it is. Here are some of the questions on the Trump IQ test. Okay, let's look at it. So you begin here. 1, 8, 2. Draw a clock. 10 past 11. Name these things. Lion, rhino, camel. Copy the cube. Just draw a cube. This is the cognitive assessment test that he brags about. This is it. This is what he brags about. And he still brags. When this came out that this was the test, and people were laughing. He changes the story. Like, well, the first few questions were easy, but it gets hard at the end. It gets really hard. They move on from camels to like skunks and stuff. Like it gets pretty deep in there, But he brags about it still. I don't know why he would ever bring it up.
I aced it. And they got, it's really a good thing because they no longer called me stupid, They no longer call me stupid. Now they say he's a dictator who wants to take over the world. They say all sorts of other.
What do you mean? They still call you stupid. They call you stupid regularly. What is he? Dude, I love this man. And I know that's wild to say, but I just love not like anything about his like character or like he's a good person. He's one of the most reprehensible politicians like in America, if not the most reprehensible politician currently alive in the United States out of say like Henry Kissinger, right? And that's just because Donald Trump had other people holding him back. Henry Kissinger did not have that to the same extent. And he was a lot smarter and had the ability through his intelligence to be a lot more evil, where Donald Trump didn't. But man, when it comes to stuff like this, where he's bragging about being able to name a rhino in a test, man, this is beautiful. I love it. It's great. And it hurts so much to realize how much damage he caused. Because again, we all took one of the most idiotic people we could possibly imagine, put him in the office of president, and we were like, damn, he caused a lot of damage. How surprising, right? But man, was it funny at times, man. Also, you see that guy in the back that says Blacks for Trump? Dude's in a literal cult. If you go to the website on that shirt, it brings you to a literal cult website. That's not a joke.
But they don't call me stupid anymore.
How is that not embarrassing for his supporters to watch? He's like an adult friend who won't stop bragging about their SAT scores. And it's not even the SATs. How bored do you have to be at Mar-a-Lago to still be so focused on this routine cognitive exam? And what is he trying to prove by bringing it up at every opportunity? It smacks of insecurity and desperation. And here's the big irony. After bragging about passing a test that's supposed to prove you don't have dementia, Trump on the same night at the same rally said this.
You know, if I lost one race, they'd say Trump was humiliated. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for one race. We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel.
Did you catch that? Trump was trying to say J.D. Vance, the Republican he has endorsed in tomorrow's Ohio Senate primary, but he ended up combining J.D.'s first name with the last name of a rival candidate, Josh Mandel. This Trump flub could have real consequences on the primary results. Candidates put their last names in big font on the lawn signs because that's what sticks with voters. But Trump said his candidate's first name, JD, and he used the other candidate's last name, Mandel. Even more confusing, both men claiming to be the Trumpiest candidate in the race. Vance, in fact, used to be a never-Trumper who compared Trump to Hitler. He basically sold his soul to MAGA.
Oh my God, can we talk about that? That's the thing about JD Vance that's so crazy. So a lot of you might not know this. JD Vance is actually the most anti-Trump person on the planet 6 years ago. Like, not even a joke. 5, 6 years ago, you would not find somebody that was more of a Trump hater than JD Vance. I mean, like, further than Jeb Bush, further than Ted Cruz, further than every single person who held out, probably. I would say out of all of, like, the Republicans, JD Vance was the peak of fuck Trump. Like, he was the peak of that, right? That was JD Vance's hustle. In fact, that was his hustle. But that's the thing about JD Vance. His hustle was being anti-Trump. I mean, JD Vance didn't only compare Trump to Hitler according to a book. There's not like audio of it. He compared Trump to heroin for America. And when I say that, I don't mean he made that as like an off-color comment. I believe he titled an article about Trump with that. He called Trump heroin, man. Dude, like, I mean, I'm thinking of it from my perspective. Like, my mom died due to heroin. Like, I mean, like, you got like the type of emotions that like triggers in people, or insane. You're literally trying to associate him with Hitler and heroin. Like, double H right there, man. Double H, fucking. And he went from that all the way to being one of the most die-hard Trumpers in the span of like 5 years. And the thing is, it's like, it doesn't make sense because like JD Vance is like everything that should piss off the Republican base. He is somebody from an Ivy League school, right? He is somebody from the coast. He worked in Silicon Valley, big tech. He wrote a book talking about like middle America and like Rust Belt and what people really need to do to connect to them folk. Like, he speaks for them. Like, he's a coastal elitist saying that they understand what middle America's all about, you know? Who then went on book tours as a Republican talking about like, I'm the sensible Republican. Trump is like heroin. Trump's Hitler. He said that to his roommate. Trump is Hitler for America, I think was the direct quote. It was something along those lines. And in a span of 5 years, because that didn't work out for him, he just decided to do a complete 180. This would be like if 5 years from now, I was running in an election in Russia, getting endorsed by Vladimir Putin. That's what it would be like. If I was, like, when it comes to like the type of rhetoric he used, he compared Trump to Hitler. He compared Trump to heroin. If you hear the things, it's probably like I don't even compare Putin to Hitler. Like, I'll call him all these terrible things. But this would be like if I went to Russia, became a Russian citizen, in the span of 5 years, I was getting endorsed by Vladimir Putin. After all the terrible things I've said about the Russian military, government, and Vladimir Putin specifically. I remember hearing, like, I was playing, God forgive me, MSNBC in the background. And I heard specifically, like, the reason why Trump likes JD Vance, sometimes even more than the people who liked him from the start, is that Trump was able to get him to bend the knee. And my God, if that doesn't feel like the perfect explanation, is it an explanation? Is Trump ever going to admit it? Probably not. But that feels like the closest we're ever going to get to an admission. Not an admission, but like to hitting it on target for why Trump is so supportive of people like JD Vance after what JD Vance has said about Trump, right? Kind of like, oh, they came and saw the light type thing. Even though if it suits JD Vance, he'd probably switch and run heel immediately away from Trump if that ship starts sinking. Why did you say forgive me for watching MSNBC? Because a lot of MSNBC has a reputation, okay? Isn't it turn heel? Whatever, turn heel and run away from Trump. You get the idea. He's not loyal to the Trumpster, so to speak. Can we look at some of this? Can we actually, I want to listen to him talk about it. I actually have this MSNBC segment saved. Let's watch MSNBC, okay? Let's be the premium lib. You know, IRI rated us. It's lib time, okay? We're going to be the most libby libs that have ever lived, okay? We're going to be so libby. Here it is. Does anybody have the old articles that he wrote about Trump? I'd love to read one of them on stream. If anybody can find one, I'd appreciate it.
Decided not only isn't Trump noxious and reprehensible, he's now the greatest president of his lifetime, and JD's previous opinions, he says, were stupid.
All of us say stupid things, and I happen to say stupid things very publicly.
Which is really a great qualification for a future senator.
Can I be honest? They laugh, and it is funny. But that's also unbelievably charismatic. Can I be honest? Like, just like being like, so what happened? You know what? We all say dumb things, and I say dumb things very publicly. I changed my mind. I thought Trump was bad. Then he got in office, did what he said he was going to do, and he changed my mind. I really didn't think of it. Like that's charismatic. Like playing stuff like that off. In fact, I would say that's a little bit Trumpian. Remember how Trump was getting criticized for like sexist remarks he made towards women? And then he just responded, only Rosie O'Donnell. And then immediately no one asked him about it again. No one really cared until the Grab Him Up by the Pussy tapes came out, right? Like immediately it was just like, oh my God, did he actually say that? That's hilarious. Nobody cared anymore. Like, why would it? Like, boom, he won the interaction, quote unquote. So now it's Gucci. Now he doesn't really need to answer for it. He ended up giving an answer, right? But like, nobody remembers the answer. People just remember that he kind of had a witty remark. You know what I mean? God.
Late night comic Jimmy Kimmel roasting a Republican candidate for Senate in Ohio. That's JD Vance, who recently surged to take the lead in the polls there. Critics say he is now the embodiment of the kind of fact and value-free Republican Party, which sells out its own self-professed principles in a completely embarrassing sycophancy to Trump. Now,
True.
This is a big deal right now. The Ohio
I will say JD Vance is probably like, if you were to think of sycophants for Trump, JD Vance is the best example of it due to the complete 180 he made. I would even say he's a better example of it than Marjorie Taylor Greene, Madison Cawthorn, from people that when they entered political sphere that we can tell have been generally pro-Trump from start to finish from recent memory, where JD Vance were very publicly trying to be the coastal elitist book host that tells you like what the people in the middle country really want, who came from Ivy League schools, worked in Silicon Valley, was a never Trumper, who compared Trump to heroin and just completely immediately when he saw what ways the winds were actually blowing.
Is Tuesday, and right now we have a special look at MAGA, at this guy Vance, and where the Republican Party may be headed. Ohio is a key state, and JD Vance has made a key evolution. He was very concerned about Donald Trump.
Wait, by the way, I saw somebody earlier say, like, what if he just changed his mind? Okay, look, if I'm like, I didn't like this politician, but then I'm like, I don't like them. I think they're bad. And then like, you know what? I think they're good. That's one thing, but you got to give me a pretty good explanation if you're comparing a politician to saying they're a modern Hitler, they're like a heroine for America, into please endorse me. Oh God, he's so amazing. The election was stolen, right? Just to defend him, to complete 180, not only to like, okay, maybe he's okay, but to completely like, thank you, oh Lord, oh Lordy, right? You gotta show me some like actual like evidence of like growth there that isn't just motivated by this can get me political power.
As somebody who doesn't like Trump myself, the elites were right about Donald Trump, right? I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
He's the best president of my lifetime, and he revealed the corruption in this country like nobody else.
I can't stop.
It's not, that's the thing. That's how I know it's a grift. It's not, you know, I thought it was bad, but he's kind of okay. Like Ben Shapiro, I actually believe that Ben Shapiro went from, I don't really like Trump, to, okay, whatever. Because I think Trump did stuff that he cares about, right? Bad things, but stuff that I do believe Ben Shapiro genuinely like support, right? But that's also because Ben Shapiro is like, I don't want Trump to run again in 2024. That's how I can also buy it, you know? Because he's not just like, oh, Trump, please run again. Please shove it to those Dems. Da, da, da. Like, I can like tell that this is somebody who I think actually like shifted politically, right? On this person. Like they thought it was like, oh, this person's a joke. And then Trump did deliver some victories for conservatives on issues they care about. Again, it's issues that we think are bad, as in issues like positions that we think are bad, but are things that are important to Ben Shapiro. Like, for example, Israel. When it comes to the example of like just being like, you know what, when it comes to the settlements, that's Gucci. Also, we're going to give up the indigenous rights of the people that are being occupied in southern Morocco. We're just going to give that up. We're just going to give that up. Like stuff like that, just completely just who cares? Who cares? Or when it comes whatever. I could rant about Trump's policies all day, but you get what I'm getting at. You can see like some natural evolution in Ben Shapiro's thinking about the man, and he didn't just turn into like a Trump should run forever, Trump forever, baby. Woo woo woo. Like he does simp, but he's not a sycophant to the extent like this guy is. That's how I know. And also, Ben Shapiro never said that Trump was Hitler, okay? And never said that Trump's heroin for America. Where this guy went, he's heroin for America, he's Hitler, all the way to he's the best president ever, right? I mean, in 5 years, I'm sorry, man. It's for a political expediency. That's the only explanation.
Stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. I think that he was a good president. I think he made a lot of good decisions for people.
I take it you're not a Trump supporter from what I've read. Am I right? Is that a fair assessment?
2017, man. This is during the Trump presidency.
Yeah, I didn't vote for Trump. All around, he was a great president. I'm 37 years old. Certainly the best president of my lifetime.
Okay, best president of my lifetime. Okay, maybe not the best president ever. Maybe Lincoln got him beat.
Now, before you get to the broader conversation or even a fact check, just within the world of Republican politics, this is already leading to criticism. Take Mark Levine saying Vance is not MAGA, America First, or conservative. That's certainly the read from what he was saying there.
That's the other thing. It's not just me saying this, by the way. It's other conservatives saying, like, dude, I see what you're doing, right? Because it's not every conservative is like there are conservatives who believe conservatism, right? Genuinely believe in conservatism. This might be hard for some people in my audience to believe, but they do, like, they exist. Like, it isn't just like it's all a grift, right? There are people who get into politics and get high up in politics because they care about the issues. They make money too, but they care about the issues. And they can see through him. It's very obvious, not only to me. It's not like I'm just like coming out here just throwing around like spurious accusations of, oh my gosh, could he possibly be interested in political expediency over honesty? Like Mark Levine sees it. And it's not just Mark Levine. I'm seeing it from more and more people because people remember what he was saying 5 years ago.
While the Club for Growth has attacked Vance as well, a right-wing group. Vance, though, is doing something that matters. It may matter in this Ohio primary on Tuesday and matter in much larger ways, which is why we have...
By the way, can I be clear? This guy's going to have to go against Tim Ryan, right? Like, Tim Ryan's running for Senate. I work for 21st Century Democrats. I haven't done stuff for them in a while, but I still think I'm technically, like, in the organization as a political consultant. When we endorsed Tim Ryan when he ran, when he started running for Senate, is it going to be... It's going to be J.D. Vance versus Tim Ryan, isn't it? Dude, can I say, if there's anyone I want to see debate J.D. Vance, and I think they'll do great, it's Tim Ryan. If there's any Democrat in Ohio that can beat J.D. Vance, it is Tim Ryan. Because the dude has everything that I think when it comes to Democrats in places like Ohio that they need to win. When it comes to like the union background, the emphasizing that union working class background. He's a pretty decent public speaker. He was able to gain some national attention due to the fact that he ran for president. Not a lot, but he got some off of it. And he certainly left a very good impression in my household, because I remember sitting next to my grandmother, and my grandmother says, at first debate, and she was a Joe Biden person, I like this Tim Ryan fella. She had no clue who he was. Immediately, good impression, right? And she is somebody, and I don't know if I told you guys this, my grandparents actually brought my mother into the world in Ohio. My mom was born in Ohio because my grandfather was a steel worker in Ohio who left after, the steel industry started collapsing, and then went to D.C., and that's where he started working for newspapers, and then eventually the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. So that background, that union background's still there, and that Ohio background's still there. And she saw that. And that's the type of stuff you need to hit if you're going to ever, make Ohio blue again, or make Ohio at least contestable, really, again. So I would say if there's anybody that I think could actually beat J.D. Vance in a race for Senate, and this would be a big W, considering everything that's going on right now when it comes to reproductive health care rights, it would be a big W if Tim Ryan could beat him. I think I'm very excited for this race. I mean, excited as in I'm excited for the ability that we have there, that I think we can do it if we really put our mind to it on this one.
We sat down recently with J.D. Vance, author of Hillbilly Elegy,
a memoir of a family and a culture in crisis. It is a great read.
Its author, J.D. Vance, joins our discussion now. It's great to have you here
the
at the
whole
table.
circuit.
It's a remarkable work you've
The
done. You're
whole
a great
circuit.
Writer. You're a great writer.
Oh my God, did you find one of his articles? Oh my God, it's in the Atlantic. It's in the Atlantic. Oh my God, yes, we're reading this. The opioid of the masses. To many, Donald Trump feels good, but he can't fix America's growing social. He's calling him a drug. Again, is this the heroin thing? I think I might have mixed up heroin and opioid. Anyway, but okay, let's finish this video. Then we get to read the article. I am so interested. When was this from? 2016. So this is 6 years ago now. Wait, it's July 2016. No, it's 5 years and 10 months. Okay, so not even 6 years.
I'm not going to repeat the offensive comparison he made, but he also called him cultural heroin, warning that this would be a quick high that would eventually lead anyone who supported him to an eventual come down. Vance at the time clearly thought he was diagnosing others. Now it looks more like a mix of confession and projection. What may have been warnings about someone he assumed would lose now have him on the wrong side of his pursuit of power. And where now Vance is boosting Trump, funding right-wing companies like Rumble, which is used by the
Oh my God,
to people who can't
went from Silicon Valley to funding Rumble. My God.
Stay on YouTube. Rumble also did a partnership with Trump's Truth Social app,
Of course.
which has needed all the partnerships and help it can get. Vance also deleted his old tweets that slammed Trump as, quote, reprehensible,
Purge all the tweets.
and arguing that God wants better for America than Trump.
God wants better for. He invoked God. So Trump is Hitler. He's like a drug. God wants better for America. What, dude? Oh my God, man. Oh my God. I love it.
I didn't come from the elites. I didn't come from the Northeast or from San Francisco.
He didn't come from the elites. He only, worked in Silicon Valley and, of course, worked. What was it? Yeah, I think it was Yale, right? I think it was Yale.
You are out in San Francisco now, right?
That's right.
Working for Peter Thiel?
Yeah, I work at one of the venture capital funds that he co-founded. The things that I care most about are not in San Francisco, they're not in Silicon Valley. One thing led to another, and I found myself in Silicon Valley. If you think about the folks who are really building the future, building really great and cool companies, and I just wanted to be involved in that.
He's a Yale-educated lawyer, a great student, went to Yale, got a law degree.
Now, we cannot read minds on the news, but Vance would appear to have a mind smart enough to know these are just tricks. And he already confessed what was on his mind about Donald Trump, which is how he knows he's lying when he talks about the last election being stolen.
And I do think that basic human honesty, even though
Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna make a statement. I'm going to make a statement here. I believe that J.D. Vance is the biggest grifter in politics today. Now, when I say that, I mean specifically politicians, as in politicians running for national office, specifically. I obviously can't know all state elected officials. But when it comes to people running for national office who are actually relevant, as in they can actually, like, have power, I think J.D. Vance is the biggest grifter. Because it isn't just, like, lefties that see, like, dude, you were trying to run our circuit, like, just, like, 6 years ago. Like, what? With you dragged your book out, like what? But it's people like Mark Levine. It's other people who are conservative who also see through him. They see what he's doing. They're not stupid. You don't just call somebody America's Hitler and then in 5 years you're like, never mind, greatest president of my lifetime. That would take like a literal come to Jesus moment of proportions that is almost impossible to comprehend. He's playing to the audience. He's an opportunist. Yeah, he is the biggest grifter in, I would say, politics generally. There are grifters in the Democratic Party. Don't get me wrong, but I would say it's further than that. Like, remember when Kamala Harris like criticized Joe Biden, right, on the campaign trail during the primary? And then afterwards, he was like, "Oh, it's a debate. It's a debate." At no point did she accuse Joe Biden of being Pol Pot. Or America's Pol Pot. That didn't come out. Like, Joe Biden's going to take everyone with glasses, take them into a forest and shoot them. That never came out. But J.D. Vance called Trump America's Hitler. Like, that isn't like a small comparison. Once again, can I say that 99.9% of the time, if you're going to compare somebody to Hitler, just don't, okay? It's usually not a good idea. Another example, another case study into that long-running truth.
It may not always pay off in the short term. It tends to pay off in the long term, or at least if you're not honest, it tends to pay off negatively in the long term.
I'm sick of the big tech companies censoring conservatives, shutting us up, and let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, stealing the 2020 election.
There it is.
That false claim is what matters most to Trump. The loser of that very election, 2020, cannot change reality. Trump lost. Trump is the loser. He's not president. Everyone knows he's not president.
Yep.
So now he is almost wholly focused in public on a kind of make-believe. A naked emperor who gets a thrill every time new minions pretend he is clothed. A J.D. Vance or a Kevin McCarthy, they will join in their own public defenestration, shrouding this dethroned loser of the race in the very finest big lie linen. And while that might seem like an odd exercise, you have to remember, it apparently feels all the softer, all the more velvety, all the better to Trump when those minions have been forced to publicly convert in their humiliation show of his sway. The more obvious, the more powerful Trump feels, which is vital to someone who lost in public and is currently so governmentally powerless. And that's probably why Donald Trump, if you haven't seen this yet, just endorsed J.D. Vance and then went way out of his way to note Vance's criticism of Trump in that new endorsement.
Guy that said some bad about me. He's a fearless MAGA fighter. And most importantly, JD, you're supported by me.
Most importantly.
Oh my God. Okay, so I want to read one of his old articles, okay? Just talking about Donald Trump, okay? Opioid of the masses. To many, Donald Trump feels good, but he can't fix, dude, it's the Atlantic, can't fix America's growing social and cultural crisis, and the eventual come down will be harsh. By J.D. Vance. What's he writing about these days? Oh, just one article in the Atlantic. Okay, let's go. I wonder what he's doing these days, boys. I have no clue. Okay. A few Saturdays ago, my wife and I spent the morning volunteering at a community garden in our San Francisco neighborhood. After a few hours of casual labor, we and other volunteers dispersed to our respective destinations. Tasty brunches. Oh my, he's writing about brunches in the Atlantic. I'm sorry, no, man. He'd be a wine mom in another life. He'd be, dude. I'm sorry, man. It's a grift. It's impossible. This is the ultimate proof. Day trips to the wine country. There it is. Art gallery tours. It was a perfect. This is the guy that represents Ohio. I'm sorry. It was a perfectly normal day by San Francisco standards. Oh my God. That very same day, in a small Ohio town where I grew up, 4 people overdosed on heroin. Oh, that's a stark contrast. A local police lieutenant coolly summarized the banality of it all. It's not that all that unusual for a 24-hour period here. He was right. In Middletown, Ohio, that too is a perfectly normal day. Folks back home speak of heroin like an apocalypse. Oh, so he did compare. Oh, here it is. He did compare him to heroin. Like an apocalyptic invader. Something that assailed the town mysteriously and without warning. Yet the truth is that heroin crept slowly into Middletown's families and communities. Not by invasion, but invitation. Oh my God, he really is doing it. Very few Americans are strangers to addiction. Shortly before I graduated law school, I learned that my own mother lay comatose in the hospital, the consequence of a apparent heroin overdose. Yet heroin was only her latest drug of choice. Prescription opioids, hillbilly heroin some call it, to highlight its special appeal among white working class folks like us, had already, again, Yale, by the way, can I just bring that up again? White working class folks like Yale, I just throwing that out there, had already landed mom in the hospital and cost our family dearly in the decade before her first taste of actual heroin. And before her own father gave up the bottle in the middle age, he was notoriously violently drunk. In our community, there has long been oh my God, he's really landed on. There is a large appetite to dull the pain. Heroin is just the newest vehicle. Of course, the pain itself has increased in recent years, and it comes from many places. Some of it economic, as the factories that provided many U.S. towns and cities maternal security have downsized or altogether ceased to exist. Some of it is authentic. Some of it is aesthetic. As the store fronts that once made American towns beautiful and vibrant gave way to cash for gold stores and payday lenders. Some of it's domestic. Okay, let's go ahead. It enters minds, not through lungs or veins, but through eyes and ears. And its name is Donald Trump. Oh my God. Dude, this is like some Edgar Allan Poe, like, this is so good. Like from like it enters minds, not through lungs or veins, but through eyes and ears, and its name is Donald Trump after comparing him to heroin. During this election season, it appears that many Americans have reached for a new pain reliever. It too promises a quick escape from life's cares, an easy solution to the mounting social problems of U.S. communities and culture. It demands nothing and requires little more than a modest presence and maybe a few enablers. And now he's an enabler. Now he's this guy. It enters minds, not through, oh my God, not through lungs or veins, but through eyes and ears, and his name is Donald Trump. Dude, I'm sorry, man. If you don't believe this guy's a grifter, it just has to be because you just don't know exactly how much. Like I'm sorry, but it's impossible. It is impossible. I refuse to believe. I quite frankly just refuse to believe. My God. I'm sorry. This is just like, this is okay. Let's keep going. Last Sunday, the day before Memorial Day, I met a Marine veteran of the Vietnam War at a local coffee shop. I was lucky, he told me. At least I came home. A lot of my buddies didn't. The thing is, the media still talks about us like we lost the war. I like to think my dead friends accomplished something. Imagine for that man the vengeful joy of a Trump rally. By the transition, my God. That brief feeling of power, of defiance, of sending a message to a very political and media establishment that for 45 years has refused to listen. Trump brings power to those who hate their lack of it, and his message is tonic to communities that have felt nothing but decline for decades. In some way, this is like anti-Trump poetry, man. In some ways, Trump's large national coalition defies easy characterization. He draws from a broad base of good people, kind folks who open their homes and hearts to people of all colors and creeds, married couples with happy homes and families who live nearby, public servants who put their lives on the line to fight fires in the community. Not all Trump voters spend their days searching for an I am illiterate. Okay, a drug. Got you. Yet a common thread among Trump's faithful, even among those whose individual circumstances remain unspoiled, is that they hail from broken communities. Why is this an italic? Whatever. These are places where good jobs are impossible to come by, where people have lost their faith and abandoned the churches of their parents and grandparents, where the death rates of poor white people go up even as the death rates of all other groups go down, where too many young people spend their days stoned inside instead of working and learning. Many years ago, our neighbor and my grandma's old friend in Middletown moved out and rented his house on a Section 8 voucher, a federal program that offers housing subsidies to low-income people. One of the first folks to move in called her landlord to report a leaky roof. By the time the landlord arrived, he discovered the woman naked on her couch. After calling him, she had started the water for a bath, gotten high, and passed out. Forgot about the original leak. Now much of the upstairs, including her and her children's possessions, were completely destroyed. Not every Trump voter lives like this woman, but nearly every Trump voter knows someone who does. Though the details differ, men and women, like my neighbors, represent, in the aggregate, a social crisis of historic proportions. There is no, I'm sorry, Trump's promises are the needle in America's collective vein. I'm done. I'm sorry. This guy's a grifter. He believes nothing of value. He has no beliefs. He'll whatever he can say and do to get into power, he'll do. I'm done. I'm sorry. Come the fuck on. He did not go from that into Trump is the best president of our lifetime just like that. He's Hitler in a heroin needle. Oh my God. I'm sorry. No, I refuse to believe it. You cannot make me believe that this is a genuine human being. I'm not the only person seeing this, right? He's reformed. Don't be a gatekeeper. Nah, I'm going to be a gatekeeper for the Republican Party. I'll do it. Okay? I need to protect the integrity of the Republican Party, everyone. I need to protect the integrity. Okay? We will not have the Republican Party soiled by these fake Republicans. Okay? No, sirree. I will not soil the Republican Party today. No, sirree. Nuh-uh. Not on my watch. Not on my watch at all. Okay, that's enough of that.